Nobody burns an effigy for no reason. So why are they doing it in this Scottish town? And why should it matter to you? This may be the most important video I've made. So if you're interested in the people, places and events in Scottish history, then click the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen. And if you enjoy this video, then like it, share it, and watch the next one. In the meantime, let me tell you a story. I wouldn't have made this video if an American couple seeking their ancestors hadn't led me to a piece of Scottish history that I knew nothing about. I wouldn't have seen the relevance to you if I hadn't lived in this town in the 80s and seen the change. And I wouldn't have made such a bold claim about this video had I not realised that the circumstances of the time are coming back to hit us today. Only much, much harder. So let's talk about weaving shawls. And don't think for a minute that's lame, soft, girly or trivial. Weavers in the 19th century were in the maelstrom of radical action, confrontation between workers and bosses, big business and cottage industry. And it's a Paisley weaver's cottage that I'm taking you to today. These are called the Sma Shot cottages. To explain why, I need to give you the context. Have you ever seen or worn something designed in Paisley pattern? Did you know that the name came from the shawls woven in Paisley in the 19th century? Don't get me wrong, the pattern didn't originate here. It originated in Persia and Kashmir as far back as the birth of Christ. The East India Company brought it back and it was copied by British weavers. British arrival in India had a devastating impact. A diversified economy that contributed a huge percentage to global GDP was transformed. The impact on Indian weavers was horrific. Still, Paisley did all right out of it. A combination of skills, technology and the sheer number of good weavers meant that they excelled, and that pattern, which had emerged from ancient Zoroastrianism, was now made into shawls and scarves here in Paisley. That's why we know it as Paisley pattern. I won't lie, I know nothing about weaving, but I do know that the warp are the threads that run the length of the fabric, and the weft is the crisscross of the shuttle that goes back and forth along its width, turning lengths of thread into an actual piece of fabric. Now, apparently, when weaving shawls, there were certain weft threads that got hidden, but whilst they weren't visible, they were essential to the fabric. This thread is called the Sma Shot. You can't see it, but it holds everything together. They tell me that in the mid-19th century, of the 55,000 people living in Paisley, 7,000 were weavers. Firms would come to self-employed weavers who literally ran a cottage industry, and they would subcontract out the work. The companies would place orders and the weavers delivered them. Now, the weavers were paid by the thread and the companies paid for the thread. But this created a contentious issue. You see that Sma Shot? Well, that's the point. You didn't. So the companies didn't count the Sma Shot when calculating weavers' payments. Hold on. That meant that the weavers did work that they weren't paid for, and they had to buy thread that they were never compensated for. It's a swindle! Well, the weavers weren't having it. A campaign was started. There was industrial action that took folks out of their cottages and into the streets to a very special place in Paisley that I'm going to take you now. This is Brodie Park, and these stones are hugely significant in the history of this town. Now, these stones weren't always here. The main stone there used to be 300 metres that way. It was moved here in, let's say, the 80s. The stones around here were taken from the toll booth in Paisley. You know what I mean? Taxes, authority, imprisonment. This stone is what it's all about. This was relocated from its original spot. It's called the Duslan Stane. It was kind of like a soapbox. Back in the day, it was around this stone that weavers would gather to debate, demonstrate, give radical speeches and argue their cause during the industrial upheavals of the 19th century. It's not just a physical marker. It was a focus for collective action. It remains a symbol of solidarity and a hope in the challenges we're about to face. It'll be a beacon for the future, a reminder of the possibilities of unity. It's a core part of Paisley's social and industrial history. This stone here is a starting point for an annual parade. You see, back in 1856, weavers campaigned and went on strike en masse. And this stone would be a rallying point. People would march behind a man beating the big Charleston drum. They marched from weaving districts all around here to demand their rightful pay. Pay that the bosses, the Corks, had been refusing for that invisible Sma Shot. Industrial action culminated in public protest just before their annual holiday. You see, Scottish workers used to go on an annual summer outing. For Paisley weavers, it was the first Saturday in July. They did that Victorian thing. They'd get on trains and maybe boats. They'd go down the water to the Clyde seaside. But the run-up to this annual holiday was different, peppered with a series of marches and strikes for the battle for fair treatment. The question is, who would win that battle? The bosses or the weavers? It was the weavers! That's right, my friend, the weavers won. A new payment system was established, rates were agreed, and the weavers would be paid for the Sma Shot. Now, agreement was finally reached on the 1st of July. So that year, when they headed down the water on the 5th of July, they had more to celebrate than just summertime. People gathered and headed off to the train station. They marched with the banners flying behind a man playing the Charleston drum. And from that day on, the summer holiday became known as Sma Shot Day, and it's celebrated each year in Paisley today. They set off from the Duslan Stane here and they marched through the streets of Paisley. It's part history and part carnival. It includes a cavalcade of different community interest groups. There are trade unions, because of course there are. We're commemorating workers' rights. There are gigantic artworks. I'll leave a bit of information all about them in the description below. You can check that out. There are young people dancing. There are people from all sorts of different campaign groups. What started off as a commemoration of one small worker's victory has become Paisley's celebration of history and heritage, with cultural events in theatres and on open air stages. Something for every Paisley buddy to be proud of. The town spirit is like the Sma Shot. You can't see it, but it holds everything together. The parade culminates with the burning of the cork. The cork is that effigy that represents the bosses in the struggle between weavers and companies. And that's why the people of Paisley burn this effigy on Sma Shot Day. But I promise to show you why it matters to you. You see, this is hugely relevant not only to Scotland and wider Britain, but to the world as a whole. And it anticipates something that's going to impact your life, whether you keep watching or not. You see, the weavers won their great victory in 1856. Better paying conditions followed. But the good times were short-lived. Competition and new technologies impacted in Paisley, just like other mill towns in Scotland and northern England as weaving declined. Work that they'd taken from India moved away again. As weaving declined, Victorian industrialisation brought other types of jobs to the area. There were new clashes between bosses and workers, and of course, after a time, industrial work that thrived around the west of Scotland went elsewhere again. The revival of Sma Shot Day was in Thatcher's 80s. As unemployment ripped the heart out of communities, there was cultural resurgence amongst the industrial decline and the modern day clearance described in the Proclaimer song Letter from America. It was a time when I studied here at Paisley. Trickle-down economics promised the future, and North Sea oil was a balm to salve a gaping wound. But that wound never truly healed. And today, in 2025, it's about to get worse. We're all about to take a journey on a road that the weavers have taken before us. The sugar rush of success was soon followed by competition, technological change and job losses. But industrialisation brought new jobs, heavy industry and factory rather than cottage. Then competition and technological change took those jobs. But that was okay. Just move into the service sector, right? These jobs are now about to disappear as we face an explosion of artificial intelligence. Intelligent machines are getting smarter and more human by the week. Who needs call centre customer service workers, telemarketers, graphic designers, solicitors, accountants, bookkeepers, teachers? YouTubers. Aye, YouTubers. I've already seen videos with graphics produced by AI, stories scripted by AI, and soon narrated by devastatingly handsome Afro-Celtic presenters, presumably designed by AI. That kind of gives me a self-interested bias. But my bias is obvious. Whose bias will you be listening to when AI takes over? Much of Paisley's already boarded up because we don't buy things in shops. We live and do business online and in the cloud. Who owns that? Who owns the new technologies? Who's holding the information in every transaction you make and every emotion that you express on social media? Who's watching your every move? Who can switch off the computer in your car from their office in a different continent? Who are the bosses of this new era where business isn't conducted in Paisley cottages, but in a cloud of ones and zeros? Who are the people today represented by the court whose effigies burnt on Sma Shot Day in Paisley? Who's controlling AI development? Who will control it in the future? Is it controllable? I'm not an historian, but I have seen Terminator. Now don't get me wrong, it's not Terminator that worries me. It's Terminator 2 that makes me shit my pants. And wiping that off and changing them is probably the only job that's going to be left. Empire wiped away work for people in India. Industrial revolution washed away jobs in Britain. Technological revolution and globalisation flushed industrial jobs in the West. And the tsunami of AI is about to hit. You don't have to be a proper historian for history to teach you what's coming. A tsunami of job loss is much worse than the decrease in cottage weaving, much worse than the collapse of heavy industry. And what's even worse is that since those Thatcher years, we gave up the idea of worker solidarity struggling against the 6 people in the world who own everything. Very soon, we're going to need community. Where will we find it? It's elusive. You can't see it, but it holds everything together. At the start, I made the bold claim that this is the most important video I've made. At the end, I still believe that's true. I've made other videos that teach us today's lessons from Scottish history. There's one coming up on screen now. If you've enjoyed this one, then like it, share it, and watch the next one. You can support the channel by clicking top right to become a Patreon member or buy me a coffee in the description below. In the meantime, Fummey and Doc is going to be Lama alive. Sherry and Rasta.